From the vast open spaces of the Eastern Cape emerged a face, the face of change. From the vast open spaces of the Eastern Cape emerged a voice, the voice of the people. It would rise above the status quo, march the road of sacrifice, and loudly cry out for liberation. Hailed as the son of Africa, father of freedom, Nelson Mandela has guided our nation into a democratic and free society.
None of us can, from personal experience, look back over a millennium. It would likewise be over-ambitious to speak of hopes for the whole of a coming millennium. In fact, some of the worst excesses of this century arose when ambitious rulers tried to create regimes of 1,000 years. There is always change in human life, even as one day follows the other. What the turn of a century does, and in particular, the transition from one millennium to the next, is to bring a dramatic reminder of change and the possibilities of renewal. It makes us take stock of our past and consider our future. I have been fortunate to live through most of the century, now drawing to a close. It brought such great hope, and other times such deep disappointment. In some ways, we outstripped the achievements of our ancestors over all the preceding centuries. In other ways, we fell far short of what was hoped for and what was indeed possible. We lived through 2 world wars and many more localized conflicts. Yet we also witnessed the establishment of the United Nations and other multilateral bodies for the peaceful resolution of conflicts and for preventing war. Advances in science and technology, industry and learning have given humanity the capacity to address most of the needs of the world's population. Yet we close the century with most people still languishing in poverty, subjected to hunger, preventable disease, illiteracy, and insufficient shelter. Freedom-loving nations combined to fight fascism and racial tyranny. There were great hopes for a new world order that treats all nations with equal dignity and consideration. Yet the divide between the rich and powerful on the one hand and the poorer and weaker nations on the other, remains as stark as ever. These are amongst the major challenges of the new century and millennium. We need leaders and people of influence everywhere to commit themselves to peace and dialogue above war and violent conflict. The victims of war are the poor and the weak. Their developmental needs deserve to be paramount to all who call themselves leaders. Democracy, good governance, and respect for human rights must be the hallmarks of all governments in the new century. The ordinary citizens of society deserve no less from those they elect. Globalization will only increase in the new century. It is an irreversible fact of our modern world. In that global village, we shall have to ensure that the interests and concerns of all are placed on an equal footing. That so many live in poverty contains a danger to all of us. That the powerful feel they can act with impunity erodes a respect for multilateralism. Democratizing international bodies and agencies will be a major challenge. All of us, powerful as well as weaker nations, must return to the true spirit of the United Nations Charter. Multilateral bodies need to demonstrate equal commitment to the concerns of all. Uppermost in our minds, as we approach the new millennium in this part of the world, is the terrible threat of HIV/AIDS. No effort should be spared to save our region, our continent, and the world from the decimation it faces from this tragic disease. South Africans have much to be proud of. Their combined efforts brought a peaceful end to the inhuman system of apartheid and established a non-racial democracy. The world looks up to us as a miracle nation. The challenges ahead are no less enormous than our achievements. We are called upon once more to pool our energies in order to combat poverty and create a better life for all. In particular, let us make our country and the world a safer, more caring, and respectful place for the vulnerable. Let the abuse of children and women and the neglect of the poor remain behind merely as phenomena of the 20th century. I thank you.
Having reached his dream of unifying a divided country, Madiba has become an icon, a hero, whose legendary qualities will continue to shine beyond South Africa and beyond this millennium.